Steyer. I'm back again today to do a science activity with you. Today we're going to talk about the word prediction. So we are going to talk about what we predict, what that means, and then we're going to look at some things to see if they float or they sink. Let's get started. So the word predict means to think and then make a guess. So if you are predicting something, you're guessing, you're not sure what's going to happen, but you're thinking about it, thinking about all the things you know, and using everything you know to make a guess. So a guess is just, I don't know. So if someone said to me, "What is your grandmother going to have for dinner?" I have no idea. I can't predict because I don't know your grandmother. So I could guess. I could say, chicken nuggets, but maybe she doesn't like chicken nuggets. Maybe you know that, but I don't. So I can't really predict because I can't think about your grandma because I don't know her. But if someone said to me, "Can you predict what Brad is going to eat for dinner?" I can predict that because I can think about what I know about Brad. I can think about what food he likes. I can think about what food he does not like. And I can think about what we usually eat for dinner. And I can think about all those things I know and then make a guess. That's a prediction. So if you predict something, you think about what you know, and then you make a guess. So we're going to talk about predicting over the next few days. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see a lot of cool science activities while we're predicting or thinking about what we know and then making a guess. And today what we are going to predict is what things that I'm going to put in this water will sink to the bottom. If something sinks, it goes through the water to the bottom. That's sinking. So we're going to predict if something sinks to the bottom of the water or if something's going to float on the top. So when I put things into this water, we will see if they sink to the bottom or float at the top. And we'll think about what we know about those things and we will predict. Sometimes we'll be right. Sometimes we'll be wrong. And that's okay. Because what we're trying to do is practice thinking and then just learn what a prediction is and have some fun with learning about sinking and floating. Are you ready to get started to predict what's going to sink or float? Super. So what we'll do is I will show you what I have and you will predict, will it sink or float? And then we'll try it out, okay? If this is something that you want to do at home, this is an activity you must do with your mom or dad or grandma or grandpa. So this can get a little messy. That's okay, but you need to do it with an adult. Is it a deal? Fabulous. So let's get started. So the first thing I have is this. What is it? It's an apple. Okay, we're going to take this apple and put it in the water, but first I need you to predict. What did that word mean? Right, think about what we know about apples. And then take a guess. Do you think the apple will sink to the bottom or float at the top? Let's find out. Okay, are you ready? I'm going to put it in. Let's see. What happened? Where is it? Did it sink to the bottom or is it floating at the top? Do you see it? It is. It's floating at the top. Good job. Okay, I'm going to take it out. Put it over here. Okay, My next item is a spoon. It's actually a measuring spoon, but you could use any old spoon. It's a metal spoon. Do you predict? So do you think, what do you know about a spoon? Think and make a guess. Predict. Do you predict the spoon will sink to the bottom? Or do you predict that the spoon will float at the top? What do you think? What do you predict? Let's find out. Are you ready? Do you see it? It's down there. Did it sink to the bottom or did it float at the top? That's where it is. It did. It sank to the bottom. All right. Oh, my hand is very wet getting the spoon out. Okay. Let's try this. What is this? It's a bar of soap. Do you predict that the soap will sink to the bottom? Or do you predict that the soap will float at the top? What do you predict? Maybe. Let's find out. Okay, here I go. Where is the soap? It sank to the bottom. I got that prediction wrong. I tested all these things before we started and I predicted that the soap would float at the top, but it didn't. It sank to the bottom. It's okay. We're not right all the time with our predictions, are we? Okay. Let's see. What about this? It's an empty plastic container. Do you predict that the empty plastic container will sink to the bottom? Or do you predict that the empty plastic container will float at the top? What do you predict? That's good thinking. Let's find out. Do you see it? What is it doing? It's floating at the top. Okay, let's take that one out. And let's do this one. Oh, this is a train. It's a Sodor Line train. It's the caboose. It used to be Brad's. Do you predict that the caboose will sink to the bottom? Or do you predict that the caboose will float at the top? What do you predict? Let's find out. Here it goes. What is it doing? It is floating. Look at all that water underneath the train. The train, the caboose, floated at the top. Okay, let's do this next. What is this? It's a crayon. Do you predict that the crayon will sink to the bottom? Or do you predict the crayon will float at the top? I need to think first and then guess to predict. What do you predict? Let's think. That's a good prediction. Let's test it out. Oh, I thought it was going to float, but what is it doing? It sank to the bottom. Okay, we have a few more objects to test out. Okay, this was Becca's when she was little. Who is that? It's a Cookie Monster toy. It is. Do you predict that Cookie Monster will sink to the bottom? Or do you predict that Cookie Monster will float at the top? What do you predict? You are really thinking hard today. Good job. Let's give it a try. Oh, he definitely did what? What did he do? Sank to the bottom. You are right. Oh boy. All right. We have 3 more objects. I have, my hand is very wet, a wooden cube. It's just a wooden block. What do you predict about the wooden block? Do you predict that the wooden block will sink to the bottom? Or will the wooden block float to the top? Maybe. Let's find out. Are you ready? What is the wooden block doing? It is floating at the top. Good job. Okay, I have 2 more. I have a sponge. Do you predict that the sponge will sink to the bottom, or do you predict that the sponge will float to the top? What do you predict? Let's find out. Oh, watch. It is floating. It filled with water, but it's still floating. It is floating at the top. It has a lot of water in it. Okay, we have 1 more. It's a race car. It's like a Hot Wheels, right? Do you predict that the race car will sink to the bottom? Or do you predict the race car will float to the top? What do you predict? I really like how you're thinking when you make your prediction. Let's find out. Are you ready? What did it do? It sank to the bottom. Oh, friends, that was so much fun to make predictions with you. And over the next few days, we're going to do a lot of the science experiments that we usually do when we're together. At the end of the year, we usually have a lot of fun with science, making predictions and seeing what happens when we put things together. So we're going to do those together. Even though I can't be with you in school and miss you so much, we can still have fun making predictions right here together. So I hope to see you really soon. I miss you. Bye.